Hey, what up? Welcome to this video. I hope you're having a good day. Right now I'm having a pretty good day, except it's mildly irritating because I lost my skate tool, which means I can't tighten my skate trucks, which means I'm annoyed and it makes me feel powerless when my skateboard is all loosey-goosey and shit like that. But we'll see about that. We'll see if things just get better or whatever. Yesterday was the Super Bowl. That's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. I watched the Super Bowl like everyone else in America. You know, it's really amazing, the Super Bowl, you know. It's like very, very, very American to me. And I told my friend, one of my friends this, I said, if you really want to understand America, you can either like go to Las Vegas or you can watch the Super Bowl. Because really both of those things just reveal to you the amount of materialism that America is based around and really runs off of. But it's a good thing. America has a lot of wealth and economic well-being and such. And I've read that the reason why America does so well economically is because Americans keep money moving really well. They spend a lot, and by spending a lot, the economy gets good circulation, kind of like blood flow. But Vegas and the Super Bowl, so I guess I should elaborate on Vegas and the Super Bowl. I guess that'll be the theme of today's Vegas and the Super Bowl and America. I'll start by talking about the Super Bowl, I suppose, because that was the more relevant thing as far as like the date and time of this recording, because the Super Bowl was yesterday. So in the Super Bowl you have the game, and then you have three aspects to the Super Bowl, right? You have the game itself, you have the advertisements, and you have the halftime show. The game itself is like every other game, except way more people watch than normal. I mean, like, people that don't even watch sports watch the Super Bowl. It's not like basketball or baseball where you have a multi-game series. It's just one game. So it's like one game everyone watches. And they do this game. They don't do it at one of the home stadiums of one of the teams in the game. They just do it at a random stadium that was pre-selected at the beginning of the year, or maybe multiple years in advance. And typically it's one of the better stadiums in the NFL, usually a newer stadium. The best stadium in the NFL, by the way, is probably SoFi Stadium in LA, where the Rams and the Chargers play. The Chargers, of course, being a team that left San Diego and went to LA. And also another team that moved was the Raiders. They moved to Vegas. Which is interesting to see those teams move in my lifetime, because when I was younger, I thought that teams moving and such was a thing of like ancient NFL times. But as I've grown older, I've seen teams move, and it happens really just because of stadiums and a city's willingness to build a stadium or not. But with the game, of course, you have the two best teams in the NFL, at least in theory, because they've made it through the playoff. And so the quality of play is expected to be high, and typically the teams are fairly even matched. And the pressure is up, of course, on everybody, because they're playing for a Super Bowl. Pretty much every celebrity and rich person goes to the Super Bowl. Well, maybe not every rich person. A lot of celebrities go. And tickets are super expensive. I don't know exactly how expensive tickets are, but I know they're super, super expensive. Sometimes the game is close, sometimes it's not. Football itself is very American because it's not really played in other countries. They have a football league in Canada, but it's not very popular. The players in that league don't make more than $1 million a year, I think. Whereas in the NFL, you'll see players getting like $500 million contracts for some of the quarterbacks. And you have the halftime show, and the halftime show is pretty much the most famous musician in the country, maybe the world, at that point in time. last year it was Kendrick Lamar who was riding hot after his rap diss track battle with Drake. And this year it was Bad Bunny who won Album of the Year. He was controversial for some reason, I guess because of the whole ICE thing with the immigration stuff. His music, of course, is in Spanish, and Trump obviously is doing a mass deportation thing. So it was kind of like a Hispanic American like protest type thing, as far as the main point, or that was like the main point of agitation for Republicans. But the actual performance itself had to do with that, but then a lot of other things. Like it had to do with the hurricane in Puerto Rico and stuff. And it had just to do with his music, I guess, but I don't even know Spanish, so I don't even know what the lyrics were about at all. I try to look into the symbols and stuff. He was wearing a 64. His outfit looked kind of papal because he was all in white and stuff, but I don't know if that had any significance. There's the whole Pope coincidence thing with the Seahawks, where every time a new Pope is elected, the Seahawks are the number 1 seed and make a Super Bowl appearance, and that's happened 3 times now. The last 3 popes, and in this case he won. They won with Pope Francis as well when he was appointed to the pontiff. But yeah, the halftime show, everyone watches it. The halftime show gets sponsored. This year it was sponsored by Apple Music. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. You've had Michael Jackson do it. Katy Perry did it. It's a big deal. Big cultural moment. Everyone's watching. It's a big deal. And then you have all the advertisements and stuff. Well, I guess I should circle back to the halftime show. I just want to say it quickly, like, a number of things that happen in the halftime show, if there's any kind of like mess up or silly little improv thing, it becomes a big deal online. It goes kind of viral. I remember Left Shark from the Katy Perry performance was a big deal, and then Justin Timberlake taking a photo with that one fan, and then him, like, people were saying, oh, he's fried, when he did an interview later and he acted a little bit autistic on TV. The kid that took the picture with Justin Timberlake during the performance. So there's shit like that happens during the halftime show, and it's like if you aren't watching the Super Bowl or the halftime show in general, you're like missing out on like pop culture shit, pretty much. And that's an important thing to bring up when you discuss the Super Bowl. Anyway, back to advertising. There are a lot of ads during the Super Bowl, and the weird thing about the Super Bowl ads, it's like, oh, funniest Super Bowl ads. The ads in the Super Bowl aren't even like, it's not like people just do shitty ads all year. But the difference with the Super Bowl is pretty much almost every ad is brand new, made just for the Super Bowl, like to premiere at the Super Bowl. So for some reason, it's like the Super Bowl becomes like the advertising film festival. And this is a big thing, and people don't talk about this enough, but like it's so bizarre. I don't know when it happened. I haven't looked into the history of it all, but I do know that there's a bunch of new ads, and they go in the Super Bowl, and the whole idea is for it to go viral, because you got like 100 million people watching, maybe more. And so I guess my point with this whole video, and that's my point with advertising, is like it really does like kind of tell the American populace and maybe the whole world in a way what's going on with our country, and what are we doing as a country. And you see that in the advertisements, you see that in the halftime show, and to some extent you see that in the gameplay. I don't know how, but if you want it to be really poetic, you could say that the gameplay itself has something to do with what's going on in the country. Like this year, a lot of the ads were about AI. In the past, there have been times where a lot of the ads were about crypto. So this year it was a lot of AI ads, some like food ordering services, stuff like that. I'll tell you what, the most boring ads to me during the Super Bowl are just like shitty movie trailers, because those are generic and they play those year round anyway. And that's funny because anytime other than the Super Bowl, I would see a movie trailer and I'd go, oh, that's interesting. That gets way better than seeing a fucking Toyota ad, but then in the Super Bowl, it's actually kind of boring. You're like, it's the Super Bowl, we should have fun ads. And while we're talking about Super Bowl ads, I should bring up the Budweiser ad from this year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 60. It was probably the best ad of the game. You know, I don't think the ads were very good this year, but I think the Budweiser ad was the best. And it had like Leonard Skinner, Freebird, and it had a bird on a horse, and they even had a bald eagle on a horse, and they even had a bald eagle on a horse at the Super Bowl, I think. So that was pretty cool to see. So during the Super Bowl, you see all this shit about what to buy and what's going on in the pop culture and entertainment and everything like that. And there's and something I forgot to bring up is a lot of these ads just have fucking celebrities doing celebrity shit. So it's like, it's all connected. It's synergy. It's like they're advertising themselves too. The celebrity culture in America is a big fucking deal, and you really see a lot of that in the Super Bowl ads. I'm gonna tie it to Vegas here just for the last bit here. I mean, the truth of the matter is I talked enough about the Super Bowl that I only have to talk about Vegas for like a minute because I'm already to the 10-minute mark. But Vegas is very American and very, very materialistic because you have a whole city based around entertainment and gambling and buying expensive shit. And Vegas has everything on a monetary like tier system where it's like a class system where it's like if you have enough money you can do more shit in Vegas, and if you don't have money then you're kind of fucked. Like you have to go to a shitty hotel, but if you have more money, there's like a huge wealth gap as far as things you can buy in Vegas. You can buy like you can get some of the most expensive rooms in the world in Vegas, or you can get super cheap rooms. In either case, the strip is just full of casinos where everybody is in there and it smells like cigarettes. And they have like malls between the casinos where they have like Prada and Gucci stores that are pretty much just display. Maybe one person goes in there at a time. And yeah, so Vegas is very interesting and very American. And when I think about the Super Bowl and I think about like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you could definitely make like a Fear and Loathing in the Super Bowl type thing. And I wonder if Hunter S. Thompson did that. I know he did sports writing. Anyway, that's probably enough for this video. I'm way past the 10-minute mark, so thanks for watching. Subscribe. Have a good day. Good luck.